Just bear with me for a little bit. I'm just gonna make sure that we're going live and you can see me and everything is working before we get started. So um, just double checking everything. So like I said, bear with me for 1 second, okay? Perfect. Okay, I can see myself. I'm live. So hello everyone. I'm just double checking here, making sure that I can see. Let me see if I can put the comments. Perfect. Okay, everything is working. So, hello everyone. I hope you guys are doing okay. My name is Natalie D'Souza, and I'm gonna be your host for the next little bit. And if you heard my watches, because I put everything so I can see it in my watch, because once I start working live, I won't be able to see the screen as much. So it's easier to put it on my watch, and then I can get the notification. But thank you all if you're joining me live and if you're joining me on replay, which is okay. I know like it might be a hard time for you. It is 2 o'clock here in Toronto, Canada, where I'm coming from. And I know that it might be late at night or very early in the morning for whatever corner of your world you're watching. So if you're watching a replay, regardless of how you're watching, let us know. We love to know we like to see how far and why we're reaching. And again, um, you're gonna see my face. It's spring here in Canada, and that means allergy season. That means no makeup because runny eyes are happening, and I don't want to look like a raccoon 24/7. So it's better to just not have you guys see that run my eyes. It's better not to have any makeup. Um, Otherwise it just drips. So I hope you guys are doing okay. I know I like divert really bad. But today we're gonna be working with the new April kits. It is gonna be the first project I created with the April kits. So you're gonna see I got a notification here on my watch. Sorry, I'm just trying to silence it. So it is gonna be a fun one because my kit is gonna look exactly like yours. Nothing, well, I'm not gonna say nothing because I did a little prep, but nothing else has been done to it. So we're gonna have fun. I had an idea. I saw a paper that I really liked, and I thought that'd be a great starting point. Um, we're gonna talk about the kit and what comes in the kit. Well, not what comes, but a few ideas, so you can see like where the inspiration came from and stuff like that. And I'm gonna give you some ideas on how you can use the paper and how to make it like cute and fun. And if you're into rainbows, then this is the place to be. So I am going to flip the camera because it only takes one button for me to flip it. And I'm gonna get started. So there you go. You're gonna see I have my kit here. It's the April kit is called A Touch of Whimsy. I'm just closing my chair here. You're gonna see that I have my pattern paper here, and I also have my solid pack over here. So I have everything ready. So one of the things that you see lately, and I'm gonna see lately, in the past few kits that comes included in your kit, so let me just pull it out. I should have it out. Is this. This is like the April hip kit ideas. It's like a pamphlet, and it gives you an ideas on what you can do with some of the kit. So it gives you like 3 layouts. You already have like everything that you're gonna need, and then all you do is just put it together following this. I know that Kimberly likes to create live sessions, so you can see like sometimes it's easier with a visual. So when I like open my kit and I went like I opened this and I was like, oh, I like this. I love this idea that you cut the again. You see, my brain is like you cut the oh my god, you cut the clouds. There's a cloud paper and then things hanging from it. And I was thinking, oh, what if I actually use that paper and I give you an idea with it for the leftovers? I think I'm going to use the entire paper. I don't know yet, but it gives you an idea for the leftovers of the paper if you're going to use it to create this layer. So you could create 2 layers out of one single thing. But like I said, it is I just thought it would be a good idea. So I'm going to just put that aside. Like I said, this is the paper that was the inspiration. This layer was the inspiration. Not the inspiration, but kind of like the starting point because I was thinking, okay, that paper could be like, it's a good starting point. So just shutting up, not shutting up, but silencing my phone for now. So we're going to start with that paper. You're going to see that I move a lot of things in my kit. So Yeah, like it's all moved. Because I did do a little bit of work ahead, not a lot. So don't think that I went and I haven't created the layout. I just did. Remember, I only have like an hour, and like I said, but I haven't touched my kit per se. Um, I haven't. So I have just like, there's the pattern paper. I'm just looking for that specific paper. I know that I have it here. Here we go. So this is the paper that is like, in the pamphlet. Let me just move this to the side. I have a space here. So this is the paper. This paper here. Okay. The name of the paper is Dreaming of This. So the way it comes is like cut up like upside down, and you have the clouds kind of cascading. I was thinking maybe use them this way. Like I said, I don't know if I'm gonna use all of them or if I'm gonna use the entire paper or I'm gonna cut them. I do know that I do want to cut some of these clouds to give them some dimension, and I'm going to need to do that for what I have in mind. But what I have in mind, and I'm going to show you what first of all the picture that I have. This is one of my goddaughters, and that's their two puppies. Well, they're two doggies. He's Robert, and that's Biscocho. It's a puppy. It's I think it's like 4 or 5 months old. I actually know. Let me see. We're in May. 5 months old. They got it for Christmas. It was a present, and Robert is like 3 years old. So these are the dogs. So I want to have them here. I want to have them between the clouds. That it was the first thing I wanted to do. That means, sorry, that I'm gonna have to cut some of this cloud. Now the only thing that I haven't like worked out yet is that whether I want to take the paper or like out the clouds out of the paper, or I want to just keep it as is. But I'm looking at it and thinking that I might need to actually cut some of these clouds out and just rework it in a like another piece of paper. So let me see what I'm gonna use for the background. I don't want to use white. That's it. But okay, before I even cut, like, go that far. So I have this. There's a lot of pink. There's a lot of like, red. So I'm gonna use that as kind of the colors that are gonna help me pop this. And then I thought, okay, what comes in the clouds? Like I said, this is like a good if you have leftovers from the other project, then this is a good like paper to use for that. So I was thinking, what can I do with this that actually brings your attention to this, that makes it more colorful? I already have a background. So I was thinking maybe I create a rainbow. So my idea is I want to bring a rainbow that like kind of starts on the left and wraps and kind of cascades to behind the pictures. And I want to have that kind of in between the clouds so that my pictures pop from it. So I think it gave you an idea right there. So like I said, this is my, original paper. So we're gonna set the pictures to the side. I have the entire kit here on the side. So I'm gonna put this aside. And well, not this, the paper. So then I started going through the papers. Like I said, I did a little bit of work, haven't cut anything. Well, I did cut stuff. But then I started piecing up a rainbow from the papers. I know that I want something that has, yellow, green, uh, pink, orange, and a little bit of blue. There's no purple, but that deep blue here is gonna make up for that color. So you're gonna see that I really think I pulled it to the side here. I think I have it here. Let me see that I had it in order. There we go. Okay, that's why probably I moved the papers. So just making sure. And I don't know why I have the light blue here, but so I have my green, like I said, a little bit of green. And then I thought we're gonna play with patterns. So, so I have like the green. This is from the cardstock, and the name of this is Thrive. And then I want a little bit of yellow. So we're gonna go with a pattern. So solid pattern. We're gonna like, alternate like that. And this is the one that has like the quilt design is Quilty Love. And then I'm gonna go into the orange. This is Playful from the cardstock pack. Then we're gonna go into this one, which I love is Applique Flowers. And that gave me the idea for what we're gonna use too. For the pink side. Again, you see like solid pattern. And then I need to end up in a solid, and I have Liberty. And I love the V sides, these frames over here. So I have the paper here. This is pretty much my rainbow. So I think it actually looks nice on top of this because this paper has like a little bit of teal. So they actually, I'm going to move it higher. So they actually pop nicely. So what I am using to create my rainbow, I've like, you're gonna see that, I don't know if you can see it, but I already drew the lines here. But I'm gonna show you how, I did it. So I'm sure you have lots of ways to do it. I wanted to find a way that'd be easier, that everybody can do it. So I went and pulled out this little ruler here, and this is from an all thicker set. It's like an alphabet alignment guide. And it just creates this curvature. So I am going to create my line using this. It sounds redundant, but literally that's how I did it. So I'm gonna create the outer line, like the inner line, sorry, here. I don't know, like, I'm sure there's a tool that, or you can use a cut file. I'm just, working it that way. And there's a space here, so I'm gonna just move that and I'm gonna play with this ruler. I used to have like, okay, I'm a STEM major. I'm a chemical engineer. So back in the day when, like, I grew up in Ecuador, in case you don't know, I'm from Ecuador. We used to have technical drawing in high school, and we had like a ruler that you can like create curvature and stuff like that. And I have it. I just don't know where I put it. I One of the things that I actually kept because not that I, thought that I was gonna be scrapbooking in the near future when I was doing that. It's just I thought that it was like such a good tool to have, and I don't know where I put it. It's somewhere in my house. That much I know. So I have the two lines. I don't know if you can see it. They're not might be like the most perfect ones, but I cut all, not cut. I drew all of them using this. So I created the first line, and then I just used kind of the guide in here to create my strip. I don't know what you call it. So I've drawn all of them. We're gonna cut them together. So like I said, I went with like a rainbow. So I'm gonna start cutting from the darkest color to the light. Let me just find my scissors. I have them right here. And this is the Liberty paper. It's like this nice blue. And I love the custard kit. So this is the part that's probably gonna take us the longest. If you haven't drawn the lines, maybe. But like I said, I save one to do it live, and then the rest I've already drawn the lines, so I just have to cut it. And I also have an X-Acto knife here, well, a craft knife, handy just in case. And like I said, this is like the the first project with this kit. So my papers are brand new, just like your kit is gonna look like when you open your baggie, your box. So let me see. Okay, I have a arch. So I'm gonna go ahead and cut the strip out of it. It might be skinny on one end and thick on the other one. Like I said, I just used the little ruler hoping that it will give me an idea. I might overlap them. Right now I need to just cut off the strips. And when I have them ready, then I'm going to line them up. I'm going to say that washi tape is gonna be my friend in a little bit. So I have the first one. See my green. I need to find an eraser. I have my tool belt right next to me. Give me one second. Just to erase the line, the pencil line that I have here. Okay. I have my first one. The next one, it will be the pink one. Oh, and I haven't even drawn the line on the pink. You see, I told you, I drew a few, but not all of them. So let's draw this line too. So it's just a matter of deciding which way do I want my, where did I toss the little ruler here? I was putting it away. I think I'm going to go like this. Again, nothing, let's take the ruler. I'm just gonna draw this line. And I'm using this guide to help me. So I'm gonna go and move the ruler so I get, you know, And I'm just moving the ruler to help me. There's like a little spacer, so I'm using the space to just kind of help me create my stripe. It's not gonna be perfect. But I tried to work it out with like a compass and creating circles. It did not look that great. I used like just like on white copy paper here at home. It didn't look the greatest, so I thought, I just needed to create an arch. So I thought that this was a good idea. That's it. On all thickers, alignment, ruler, I don't know what you want to call it, but it works. And then all I'm gonna do is just kind of cut that up. You can um hand draw it if you're not so sure. Like I said, I'm sure there's a cut file. It's just like cutting this, let's say it's around a half an inch strip in this big arch. It didn't work with the compass. I tried on paper. I'm gonna save this because I'm use it. And then I'm gonna cut the other piece and I'm gonna start building my little you're gonna see it here. And I'm hoping and praying that it actually matches. So I might have to do a little bit of what do you call it? Surgery as we go along. See, like I said, another thing is I'm alternating the papers, like one is solid, one has a pattern, so that all the papers shine nicely here. I thought because I'm gonna put the stripes right next to each other, I needed to give them a little bit of a breathing space. When you have a cut file, you usually have like a white space in between each one of the pieces, and that helps to break up, like, the color so you can like appreciate all of them. In this case, I don't have that luxury, so all I have to do is just kind of just play with this a little bit. Remember, like I said, it might need some like DIY surgery. So you see how I'm building my rainbow? It's not gonna be super thick. So yeah. So the next color is gonna be an orange, and I already created that. And that's from the Playful. This is from the cardstock pack. Because I have that stripe on the pink paper, I went with something solid for the orange. And I was looking at some of the patterns for the orange. There was one, and I really liked it. But then I'm also gonna bring some extra powder in a little bit. So I thought going for something simple might be the best way here. But if you like, let's say you want to use a lot of pattern paper, you might want to consider when creating your rainbow to leave a little bit of space in between and probably glue it to white cardstock and leave like an eighth of an inch or like a 1/16th of an inch in between these arches. That way you have that break and like, it doesn't look like really busy, and then you can define strips. A little bit of like white space or that white line that you get on cut files, it is a good thing. It helps you define, it helps you frame things. Since we don't have that, that's where we're alternating pattern and solid, so everything like, works nicely. So we're gonna go ahead. I'm gonna draw that line. I'm gonna erase that line. Just I'm trying to not break my eraser, which I've done a few times. Yes. But like I told you, I think washi tape might come into my rescue. So I'm just kind of building my rainbow. It's not gonna be perfect arches or anything like that, but good enough to read as a rainbow. Okay, let's see pencil. Okay, so now we need some sort of yellow, and this is the paper. This one has a quilty love, and if you took a look, like if you looked at the kit this month, there's a lot of like piecing and like it has like a soft, it's not a, it's, what do we call a soft? I don't know, it's like inspired by like quilts and sewing and stuff like that. So I thought it was perfect. My mom owns a sewing machine. She doesn't like me. I don't mean my mom, the sewing machine, or I don't know, I not good at sewing machines. I had one, my husband bought me one a couple years ago for paper. He said, oh, I asked for one to do, crafting. I swear, one project and I broke it, and there was no fixing it. So I'm not allowed to ask for another one unless I buy it myself. That's pretty much what he told me. So, um, and then I've used my mother's, but my mother is a seamstress, so she has professional machines, which is not a good thing to use with paper. And also, if you have like a regular sewing machine at home, you know that you can take your time. It goes so slow. Um, when you have like a professional, so and she has like heavy duty one, if you step on the pedal, that thing goes fast. Like I mean, like fast and with a lot of pressure. So unless you know how to use it properly, then it's a great thing. But if you don't know how to use it properly, me, um, it could be dangerous. Like seriously, like I'm not joking. As in dangerous, as in like really like that thing. The pressure comes out so hard, like on the needle, it like can rip paper. One, and then the other one is you can break a needle because they're not used to that. You gotta play with the tensions. It's guys, like I'm gonna say, you know, not not a good thing. And then if I like set the machine into like manual, because you have a choice, like take it off like the kind of professional setting. It is one of the hardest things to like dial it, like use the it has like a little thingy to, I don't know what you call it. It's not called a thingy, like a wheel. So like the machine will go up and down. It is on a regular sewing machine, it's easy, but in a professional one, it is one of the hardest things you ever do. I I don't use machines to stitch. Hand stitching any day. I'm kind of quick with it, but I have a lot to do, so don't do much of it. But oh, good Lord, like I said, sewing machines, and I wish. I think I might bite the bullet and buy another one for me. Somebody gave me like a little bit of give me a name, that one that she's used for a long time, and it's like a heavy duty one, but it's not professional, but and it's easy, doesn't use that much space, so I might go ahead and buy it. I might, like that I use the word a few times, because I don't know if I use it that much. I don't know, like I sometimes I think, oh yeah, but I do like 12 by 12 layouts. I'm gonna say probably like a couple a week. It's not my main way of documenting, unless it's like special pictures or I'm doing it for like somebody else's album. My way of documenting, especially with adult children, is a 6 by 8 album. I guess I can probably stitch on it too, but I don't know. I like to keep it like they're very decorated and elaborated, like my husband calls it. But I like that. It's like my way of scrapbooking on a small format and making the stories look nice, but in a small format. So I have like around an album and a half, depending per month. So I don't know. I have to consider it. So there you go. I have all my papers. You can see my rainbow there. Let's clean this. I'm just erasing the pencil line. Let's see. I think I pulled it all out. Let me just, like I said, it's not gonna be. I see a little bit of like a little bit of what's its name? Not a straight line, and that is gonna read as like as a bump. So I'm just gonna clean it up a little bit. There we go. So I kind of have my rainbow here. See, solid, pattern, solid, pattern, solid. So I like what that looks like, and I am going to put it together. Not put it together, but hold it together with the help of masking tape will help, washi tape will help. I happen to have mint tape. I also have, I should have pulled it. I have it here, but I'm not gonna move from here right now. I also have post-it tape, which is a great thing. It's very low tack. So that means that it doesn't hurt paper. So all I'm doing is just holding the rainbow semi together. So you're gonna see that already this pink paper is not behaving as I'm hoping it does. So I need to do a little, like I said, it's gonna be a little bit of doctoring, moving pieces around, because it's not like perfect arches. But there you go. So I think I have a rainbow ready. So let's slowly build this layout. Let me just clean up my area a little bit, just so I don't get like, lost here. So I'm gonna put all my solid back into the solid kit here. And then my pattern papers back into the pattern paper. I have it over here on the side. And now we're going to decide what happens with this paper. Remember, this is my inspiration paper. It's called Dreaming of This, the pattern paper. And I really want my rainbow to pretty much go right there. I could hand stitch it if I want to, but we're doing it live. I don't have if I start hand stitching these guys, I like we will need to put like Netflix, and I will need to like create some sort of movie so you guys don't get bored of seeing me hand stitch. If you could, it'd be a great thing to add texture. Um, I'm not going to. Like I said, it's not that I don't want to show you how to do it. It's just I don't have like, it takes some time to hand stitch. You could actually machine sew it. Will be great to add extra texture. Again, no, the sort of thing that I'm just playing with the positioning of some of this. Not something that, I'm thinking that I'm gonna do with this. I just have to like kind of roll them up a little bit more. And I'm okay with this pink. It's just in some areas they're not behaving as I wanted it to. There we go. Okay, so I have my two pictures. You see what I'm like my rainbow, my paper. I want my pictures to sit right here. I like that. So here's where I have to make the decision. Do I want to cut this paper? I know that I do want to separate some of this cloud just to give it some dimension, because I do want the rainbow kind of come, and I want the pictures to be nestled in the clouds. So I'm just deciding whether I want to keep this as a background fully, or do I want to separate some of this? So for now, we're just going to, well, I have my rainbow. Let me set it to the side there. I'm going to, let's just do something that, how I work my layouts. Whatever. So let's get this back here. Okay, I like that. So let's see what paper do I have that is, I kind of like having it all the clouds like that. I am going to need like a, call it scratch paper. So I am going to get an 8.5 by 11 piece of white cardstock. So bear with me 1 second. Sorry about that. I just have to go get it from my printer. So use that to help me actually create the dimension on the, like I said, I want to keep this paper because I want it to be in the cloud. So what we're going to do is, first of all, take out the branding. And you see I have my 8.5 by 11. So I'm putting things aside. I'm going to take out the branding bar, and that I need my cutter for that. And I left it on the side here. If you decide to cut it, then go ahead and you can use white cardstock to glue your clouds. I am not. I'm gonna keep it as a whole, even though I love the B side of this paper. It's this beautiful, you know, like a floral, beautiful. But even though I love to keep paper, and trust me, I hoard a lot of paper. Um, I do have to use it too. So, you know, it's always a good thing to use up my paper. So I'm just cleaning it up. I'm going to bring my chair here. And I have, like I told you before, I have a craft knife. Okay, so you can either separate all your clouds, or what I'm going to do is I'm just going to separate some parts of it. So I know that I want this one here. So I'm going to carefully, I don't know if you can see it. I'm going to carefully try not to destroy the curvature of the cloud. Okay, so it's not that I'm ignoring you. I'm just trying to do this in a one single pass. See, that's one of the reasons why. Yeah. So let's see. Let's flip it. Oh, don't destroy Natalie. Put more pressure. There we go. Let's keep going. So I'm gonna complete the circumference of this little cloud. It's actually a fun design of the cloud, so it will help you to, create a lot of things. So I hope I'm putting enough pressure. There we go. Doesn't have to be perfect, but and I'm saying not perfect because I know that I'm gonna hide some of this, like some of these little corners. So I'm okay with that. And I'm not gonna like separate it fully. I'm gonna separate it just around an inch. Because remember, I have to glue it onto something. So I gotta be careful that I don't go all the way to the end. I just wanna make sure that I can lift some of these clouds. You just heard that one of my pictures fell down. Okay, so here, cut a bit of this to maybe this cloud here. Okay, so I have one. I know my photos are gonna be here. So then I'm gonna do this part here. So that's so you see. Okay. And now my pictures are gonna go here. So I'm gonna make sure that they can sit. They're not gonna sit like, one next to each other. They're gonna be a little bit on the slant. So you see? Kind of in between the clouds. So I know that I wanna do the same for this area here. So it's always good to bring your photos to help you with this. I know that I'm gonna do this here. So we put in a better, I sat down because it makes it easier for me to be closer to the paper to see what I'm doing. And like I said, I wish that it was an easier way to do it. I think the easier way would be if I just separated the entire cloud. I don't want to do that. Oh my God, this one is so crooked. It's not even funny. It's okay. It's okay. Don't, look at it too much. Okay. Okay, let's lift it up a bit here. I know my photo is going to be right there, so I just need to make sure that I cut a bit here. Okay, here we go. Let's put again the pictures where I want them to sit. So you see there's a little bit of like dimension there. I might actually cut this one here. So the other ones that I want to cut are maybe, I want to go ahead and cut this part here. And you're gonna see, it's not that I'm like, making it hard. I just want to make sure that I add some foam adhesive behind it and actually make those areas pop. It's going to be kind of a plain, not plain, but simple layout. So you need to kind of play with the paper a little bit more. I guess if you were to like separate each one of the strips of the clouds and when you glue them, it creates a different effect because you can actually prop them up a little bit. In this case, because I am using the same paper, I'm not like, this is going to be my background. I need to find a ways to add interest. So I thought, like I said, I'm working right now. I'm just separating the clouds, just part of it, making sure that I don't go all the way to the edge because I'm going to back this area with I have a piece of cardstock. I have an 8.5 by 11, 65-pound white cardstock just for my stash. That's going to help me, the second part of this. So I'm alternating also where my clouds are popping. Okay, so there a little bit more. I'm going to cut it all the way here because I need a way to kind of here all the way down. Okay, kind of see what they meet. 1, 2 here. I think I need to cut again. This is the way you build my layout. I can even go like that. This is gonna be pop perfect. I need to bring my rainbow. So rainbow is going to sit right there. Let's see, right there. Picture is gonna go right here. Actually, this one's gonna go lower. Here in between the clouds, this one's gonna go a little bit higher. Right there. So you see what it's looking like? You see, I have all these clouds here, and I have to pop it up a bit more, but I like that. Okay, so I can add some format. I need to cut this area here. Here. All right, let me see. I'm gonna prop this up a little bit more. I need to cut one more here. So it might be easier to see what I'm working with if I have, like, my photos and my rainbow in place. Okay. Here. I don't want to cut down here. I'm gonna cut right here. Just be careful. You don't want to cut the whole thing if you're using the same paper as your background. If you're separating it and you just want to use the, like, the strips of the clouds, and then you can separate each cloud and then glue it, and that's going to help you add dimension. I am not working it that way, so I got to be careful. And that's only the two. And then that means I got to separate this one here, maybe a little bit here. See, I'm just kind of using, see, because I guess so we already did it. Like I said, it's not gonna be perfect. And you heard me talking to myself, which I do a lot. Even though my son is in the room probably going, oh my God, mama's crazy. I know he's not working no more right now. He's not taking time off. He's going for his master's. So he stopped working as of last week, and now he is on vacation until his master's program starts in a month. So I went from two, because both my children became our dependents a couple of weeks ago, and not because they can, well, they live with us anyways, but because they're going to school, both of them. So, you know how people say, grown children are gonna leave you. My grown children, first of all, they still live with us, but my son had to quit because his program is full time. So he took some time off. Like I said, he's on vacation until his school starts in July. My daughter is going for her pastry chef degree. So she is going full time to school and part time work. So my children went from full time workers to, um, you know, full time dependents, which is okay with us, which is okay. It is what it is, and we are just happy that they're going to continue their work. And I'm happy they're home. Well, they're not home. I don't, barely see my daughter between work and school and boyfriends. You barely see it. My son, for the time being, I see him, but I know that in a couple months he'll be gone too. And what can we do? So, like I said, I'm separated, not all of it, just enough that you can, get a nice read on this. Um, I have an 8.5 by 11 paper, so I'm just making sure that I have enough of coverage in the background. Okay, so let me see. I'm trying to see what else doing. I'm gonna open that up. I think I'm gonna open this too. I'm gonna pop probably this one up here too. I just gotta be careful. Okay, so try not to separate it fully. So that's what I'm saying. Bring in your rainbow and your picture, so it kind of gives you a guideline exactly of how far you can separate this. You don't want to, like I said, there's two ways about it. You can go ahead and cut up the clouds and then, back it up with paper, or you just do this and then you use the entire pattern paper, which is what I'm doing. But if you cut some of the clouds out, um, then you have leftover to do this project. Like I said, I saw this and I was like, oh, what can you do with the leftover pieces? So, you know, you can do this. Just if you're gonna use, I think she uses 1, 2, and 3. Then you have these three. You can create the same idea. So you could update 1, 2, and 3. She uses the example gives you 1, 2, 3. So you separate these three and then use the same other ones here, and then just attach it to a paper, and you can have like two layouts for one. In my case, I'm just using pattern paper. So you see what I'm doing? So now we're gonna go into the back. Okay, see all the cuts? Okay, we're gonna go ahead and glue this. Just be careful. Okay, I have some tape here. So, and the reason why I'm gluing some white cardstock on the back, it's because the reason why I cut the clouds is because I want to give them some dimension. So I need something to help me on the background. And I am using just, like I said, an 8.5 by 11 regular piece of cardstock, nothing special about it. This is just from my printer. So if you have any leftover pieces of paper, that's all you need. Even you have copy paper, that will work. So don't stress over it. You just want something that you can, like, kind of stick some foam adhesive behind it. So I'm just gonna make sure that, okay. Okay. So you see now when I lift my clouds, I have something to do that. So now I am going to bring one of my favorite things in the world, if you've been here, which is foam adhesive. And I'm gonna add this again. Foam adhesive comes in different shapes and sizes. I'm gonna use the thinnest one that I have. Okay, and you see, like, yeah, there's the. So I'm gonna start with this. So remember all the cuts that I created. So carefully just lift it up, and a little drop, a little drop, a little piece. It's gonna help you with this. So I'm just gonna lift it up a bit. Okay, so be careful. Okay, I have my little garbage here, so I'm gonna move it. Okay, and I think. Okay, so I'm just going to add a little bit of foam adhesive to the back. I don't know if you can see it. I'm gonna lift it up so you see. Hi, Kimberly, to the back, to the paper, just to help me with the clouds, lifting it up. I gotta be careful here because remember my picture is going to sit here, but still. So just, I know it may be complicated myself when I'm doing this, but I just thought that it just makes it easier. I could basically cut all the clouds out and then glue it onto, like, cardstock, but no need to do that. Just take your time, some patience, and you can get this going. Okay. So I'm just gonna keep gluing this. Okay, so here we go. I know I have crazy ideas sometimes. People are probably going, "Oh, you complicate yourself." My husband probably is thinking, "Oh God, all those poor people that are thinking, hi, I'm like, I'm sorry if I complicated. I just think, first of all, don't waste your paper. I am lucky that I know that I'm not going to use more of this paper. And, like I said, I am blessed that I have a second set in case that I want to use it. But I think it's a good idea. And a little bit, I know that and I'm going to say some of you ladies and gentlemen, like projects that are really flat, and that's fine, to each his own. But in this case, because I'm using one single sheet of pattern paper and I'm repeating myself, it's nice to bring a little bit of dimension. And you're gonna see it's like really, really soft. It's not a lot. Unless you want it to be a lot, then you can easily go for like thicker foam adhesive. I'm using the thinnest ones that I own, and I own a lot of different sizes. But this is, I think, is like 1/16. Is the finest one that I could find. The only thing is I gotta be careful where I add my foam adhesive. I want to make sure that I add it in areas that is going to make the clouds pop. Like you see this little corner here. I might actually, I like what it looks like. What I'm going to do right now is get a little bit of glue. See, there's an area here that is not popping up. So I think I need to. So what I'm gonna do is get this. I'm going to add a little bit of glue just to help with this. And then I have my foam adhesive. I'm going to help myself by adding another one here. I know my pictures are going to sit here, so I'm okay with that. I need to prop this one too. So I have my little glue bottle here with me. Okay, so I need to just glue the areas that are going to stay flat. And I can see I need more foam adhesive here. This is the part going to take us the longest, probably. So we're going to lift it up, add some glue, and push it in. Okay. So, like I said, you don't have to do the whole thing, just certain areas. Okay, and I'm gonna lift it up in a bit so you see it. So I'm just sorry that I'm reaching, like, I'm sitting down just to help me with this part. Here, you just gotta be careful because remember your pictures are gonna be here. So there we go. I think I have it. Let me find a little thing here. Oh, I know I love this glue, but I gotta tell you, okay, I this is like I love Burley Arts. I do. I have a few bottles. Um, I work for Altenew, and not that I wanna like say anything like or be an instigator or be like enabler, but they are coming with with a glue in June. The tip is so fine, not because it's a little bit more runny, it's more liquidy. I gotta give him that, but the tip is so fine. You can go into those tiny little crevices with it. So you know, like I said, not that I'm enabling, but just if you like to do like little tiny details like this, and you sometimes I get upset that it doesn't work. And like this one has a fine tip. It's even finer than the tip in the Barely Arts. That's all I'm gonna say. It's up to you whether like that's something that's good for you or not. That means that it gets clogged easier. It gets easily too. But there you go. So I'm gonna lift it up so you see it. See, you can barely see it. Okay, no much. Okay, let's move the garbage out of the way. Okay, remember we cut my little rainbow. So now I'm gonna put it in place. Just so you see it. This photo here is going to be like kind of sitting there in the cloud so you can tell I could even go like that if I wanted it to, but I kind of like this little corner there. So I'm just making nothing is glued in place. Okay, and you see what they'll have in the clouds pop a little bit helps. I'm going to pop the rainbow too, so don't. So I know where it's going to sit. So let's move it a bit. Okay, and I'm going to carefully, I'm going to use foam adhesive again. Okay, don't be upset with me. Don't hate me, please. I like dimension, not a lot. I don't like bulk. I like dimension. Okay, so there's a difference there. Dimension is just creating that beautiful shadow behind it. Bulk is just adding so much stuff to it. And even though I'm adding quite a bit here, I am going to compensate somewhere along the line. So just, keep in mind, I'm using strips just because it keeps all of them together at once. Okay, so I gotta make sure that this one sits in. Okay, and of course I did put it wrong because I'm not very smart. Okay, this one's good now. So, and I'm gonna tell you, like in case you missed the first few minutes, I'm gonna tell you how I created this. So give me 1 second. I'm just trying to. Okay, so I should have done this. And now where it's going to sit, so it's gonna sit right here. Okay, so now I peel this up. That's the way. And I'm gonna make sure that it fits right on the spot, right there. And if I have to cut extra tape, there we go. So there's a little bit left over there. So I'm gonna cut it and just trim it to size. There we go. There we go. So you see, so it's gonna be a little bit higher than the rest of the stuff. So I'm gonna keep going that way, and the little tape is holding it, helping me hold it together. My God, today I'm just like my tongue is like working on overtime. There we go. See, just a little bit, not the whole thing. I am not going to go crazy and add it on the whole thing, just in certain areas, just so it helps me with the telling of like, holding it in place. Okay. Thank God for like, this. It's open. Let's put it a little bit higher. This is gonna has to be flat down here. So remember, even though I'm adding foam adhesive here, I'm gonna add one more here. I gotta make sure that it stays flat because my pictures are gonna sit there. Okay? So let's try and see. Okay, so I'm gonna try one more, probably around here. So I'm gonna kind of size it up. So carefully. You wanna make sure you hold all the strips at once. I think that's pretty much it. I'm gonna keep it there for the time being. Okay, here you're gonna have to get some strong glue not strong glue, just some tape to hold it down. And now we're gonna trim the excess because we gotta make sure that it looks nice. Don't worry about the bottom part because it's gonna be hidden by the photo. Okay, we don't need the tape. Put it there. We're gonna keep the tape there for now. The bit. And we're gonna trim it. The best way to trim this is gonna be, I can use scissors, but because I have the foam adhesive there, it's gotta be careful. I'm gonna go with my X-Acto knife. It's not my I don't know if you're used to saying an X-Acto knife. It's not. It's a craft knife. But yeah, I created my little. They can have it. See, garbage. Bring it back. Yeah, I think so. There we go. See, rainbows coming into here. Now I have my pictures. Okay, this one is the one that's gonna sit on the cloud. See, the end gets covered, so nothing's gonna see it. Here, this little part is like driving me insane because I see the green strip kind of going underneath. And like I said, I used only like thickers alignment ruler. I had like an old set in my stash to create the arches. I couldn't do it with a compass. I tried. I couldn't do it because the arches were really big. So I had to like, do it with a plate. Okay, so I just trying to set everything in place here. There we go. I want it to be like that. Okay, so it kind of falls right here. I like my pictures there, but I need to do something to make them pop a little bit more. I think I want to back them up, but I don't want to back them up with pattern paper. You already have that going. What I'm actually going to use, I have handy, is vellum. If I had pattern paper, just because I'm going to add more stuff to it, I don't want to, make it like too busy in a way, too busy. Because you know that there's gotta be something to anchor that's what I'm putting my picture like in the cloud, but I need something else, something a little bit heftier. So for now, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to back my pictures with some vellum. One of the easiest ways and most effective ways to actually create a frame. So I don't know if you can see it. Try my best. My pictures are around, I think, 2 inches, 2.25, I believe. 2.25 by 3.5 or so ish. Okay, so I'm just backing them with some vellum. And the vellum is nice because it creates a little bit of the division, but it's translucent enough that it doesn't overpower. But you do want to have a little bit of separation. And I thought the vellum was actually, I don't know if you have it in your stash. I have a lot of it in my stash. It's something that I use a lot. All right, okay. This one I think I screwed up a bit. I'm just gonna carefully lift it up. And I need to make sure that it's nice and okay, let me see. Okay, I have a lot of it because I just love using it. Like I said, it creates separation, but still you can see underneath it. You can see through it at the back, and that's what I'm going to. I thought, oh, it'd be a good, especially because I'm putting the pictures in the clouds. It just helps with that. Oh, I just ripped it. It just helps with that. And it's a material that I love working with. So I'm gonna get up now that I'm done. Perfect. Okay, I'm done. So let's move stuff out of the way, clean up the area. Garbage. There we go. So my picture is going to sit right here. And the other one's going to sit right here. So I'm gonna kind of use my little, okay, I'm gonna make sure that they're nice and straight. Let me get a ruler. Here we go. And I'm going to prop it. One, see? Make sure that it's nice and straight. So sorry if it's out of focus. So I'm just trying to keep it nice and straight. And this one here too. They don't have to be necessarily like, side by side. I'm trying to follow the flow there. I know my title is going to sit around here because it was going to be too heavy at the bottom. I am going to add more stuff at the bottom. I'm just going to make sure that it's secure enough that I can, sorry about that. I'm just trying to make sure that, there we go. So another piece here. Okay, there you go. So you see the clouds, my pixels are popping out. They're not fully straight, and I'm okay with that. Straightish. Okay. So now, like I said, I need something to anchor this picture down a little bit. So what I was thinking, I went through the entire kit, and I was thinking, I looked at these flowers that come from the ephemera pack, and I really like them. I was like, but they're like a lot of color. I don't want a lot of color. I want something that is going to bring some of the tones of the rainbow, but in a more subtle way. So I am using one of the dies from this month's kit, and this is the applique flower and leaf set. So you create your outline, your center, like, looks at that stitch look, and the leaves. So I went ahead and cut a few of them, and I used my Project Life kit for this because the pattern is smaller, so it reads more as a solid for that. So I have some pink. They picked up on the pink. I have some kind of orangey, and I have some blue with all the flowers. You can see that that's okay if it's only pieces. I have my centers here, and these are all from the smaller, like, the 6x8, and I have my leaves. So I have them all here. I play with the idea of the ephemera pieces that you can get in the kit. They were a little bit too big with what I have in mind, so it's easier for me to just kind of build them up. So you're gonna see that I might not even use the whole thing. So, and here's the reason why I have cuts in the clouds too, so I can tuck in my flowers. Okay. And I'm gonna carefully lift it up. Now I want to make sure that when I, glue them, I don't cover faces or bodies or anything like that. So I'm always being mindful of those things. So I don't want to take away from that. So I'm going to just kind of build like a little line of flowers on here. Okay, let's touch that one down there because it's not complete. See, I'm not like, just being careful. This one is not complete. So I'm going to try to just try to make sure that it's okay. Here. Let me just play with the centers. I have more. So here. And I need another center. Nothing is glued in place. I'm just, playing with the idea. Like I said, I might do this actually underneath. I need a few more, so I need to bring another one here. I'm gonna bring another pink one behind it, and I have pieces, so that works for me. Pink. Let me get a center. And I think I need to bring like a piece of an orange, and having glued this, that's the beauty of it. I'm gonna move it higher. And I'm just gonna add my flowers here, so don't, okay. And then I am going to bring another blue right here, tucked in between the, right there, okay? So here we go, centers, and kind of like that. So I can put this one here too. I think I'm gonna move it up there, but it doesn't look great. So I like this, the way it looks. Okay. So I don't need more flowers. I thought I was gonna need a lot more, but I cut 3 of each one of them just in case. So I'm gonna glue them in place. Again, foam adhesive is gonna be my friend or your friend in case you're using it. And I'm using the thinnest one that I can find in my stash because I'm adding one behind the picture one behind the flower, one behind the center, and just to the center of into the back of the center of the flower. That gives me lines for, like, lines of journal. Like I said, my title is going to be up here. Otherwise, you're going to make the bottom really heavy. You don't want to do that. So you want to play with the position of stuff. But it gives you stuff to embellish down here too. And I'm trying to make sure that I don't cover, like, faces or, in this case, the puppy. This is the puppy right now. It's only like, I think it's like, well, he got it for Christmas, so 5 months old. It's so cute. And Robert's already 3 or 4, three. So just setting everything in place. Once we have that, I cut the leaves. And like I said, I cut all the flowers and the centers. I use the Project Life kit for this. The reason is because it is a smaller pattern. So it reads as a solid with a little bit of interest, which is what I need for this. I don't want a lot of interest going on. I want the pictures to be the interest. I want the rainbow to be the interest. So that means that I have to getting a smaller pattern works better for this. So just finishing gluing, and then we're going to hit it with some leaves. We're going to secure this in place. There we go. See, I like what that looks like. So I have my leaves, you see. So you don't need to add that many. Okay, and those little spaces from the clouds work perfectly for this. Need to add, because it kind of gives you an area to tuck in pieces. And that's nice because you don't have to, like, you don't get to overdo, overwork, no, overwork your page. You need something here. So we're going to lift this up a bit. Let's see, which way do I want to go? Like that. Okay, so we're almost there. See? Here. Okay. Put this one here. I'm gonna go work over here. We're almost done, so we're doing fine. Okay, so another one here. I calculated 2 leaves per flower. So in case you're wondering how I, did this, I calculated 2 leaves per flower. And just another one here. Pretty much my bottom is that. I don't need to add anything else at the bottom. Okay? No, I'm out of embellishing it. Like I said, my title, right here. Okay? And that's where we're going to work on right now. I have my little, chipboard pieces right here. Thing in life. I know this is, I have the, I'm gonna say the backing, no, but I also have, you also have this cloud, which I thought it might be a good thing, but I think it's just a little bit too much. But we're gonna try one, because you never know. Okay. See, I might actually use them up here though. Let's see. To help me with the title positioning. So even though I said, I don't know, I might actually use it. But I want to see at the back of my chipboard. What do we have? I need something here. So let's see. And I have my ephemera to here. I'm very excited. I need something down there, kind of a semi subtitle. I was gonna say semi-title, subtitle. I'm looking at everything that we have here. Okay, let me open this up. And there we go. You are my favorite. It's looking beautiful. See here, you are my favorite. Gonna go right there. We're gonna add something up here. Joyful memory. Gonna play with circles here. Okay, let me get a foam adhesive behind it so it's not like, flying on the air. That means that I need to bring another one up here. So here, so cute. When I go lower, okay, it's gonna be right on the photo. That means that we gotta add a circle somewhere else here. Wish we had like a little circle that has nothing inside. Okay, I see a little button. So, okay, to give you this with your lines of journal underneath. I'm trying to make sure you see it. Okay, we're gonna work on the title now. Here. I like this sweet, sweet puppy. Let's see what it looks like. And because it's the blue here, I'm gonna cut it. Okay, so uh, uh, bear with me because we're almost done. I'm gonna make sure that we finish and complete the layout. I like that. And then I wanna go and I wanna make sure that it's like right there. And I'm gonna go puppy. I'm gonna make sure that what color, I don't know. So I think it's sweet love. No. Sweet. Let's see with this. Oh, something just came out. Okay. These little pieces. I just rolled it out and the little pieces like stuck to my fingers. So just be careful when you do this. Lesson learned. I have little dots attached to my fingers. So note itself, be careful when you pull it out because they get stuck in your fingers. And I'm gonna go with the orange so it actually pops from the blue on the background. Okay, so I might actually switch this. I don't know. Okay, let's see. Three puppies. Do we have P? Yeah, I'm gonna switch it. This is too big. So carefully pull this out. Lesson learned. Careful, careful, careful. Okay. So, okay, so let's see. Title there. Let's get something out here. Just because we're following that look, it's gonna help you to. I'm gonna find something that's a little bit flat on this side. So let's see this tiny kind of squarish one. There we go. Okay. It hasn't been glued yet. Okay. I'm gonna go with capitals for this. A T. And then I have a small little one. See if I might trim it. And then have another one here. Yeah. So for now, it's gonna, and then puppy is gonna go. See, I still have little pieces coming out. Let's see. Sweet. I don't know where it came out. So you. Another couple. So I have the piece, like just, they're not gonna look the same, but I don't have enough. So I have to use the lower case. I'm gonna switch this to both of them lowercase. So it doesn't look weird. Okay, and I'm just following the curvature of the arch to add my title. Done. Let's put this away. Okay, now we're gonna. Okay, that's perfect. Like I said, not flowers, only the flowers down here. Okay, but I do want to add this. So to glue this in place, let me see, I like this one. I like this little one here. Some tape. I have never glued felt this way, so we're going to see. Oh, I like it. And I thought I was like, I think I'm gonna use this, but they came in handy. Let's see another one. I think I wanna like. Let me move this up the way so it doesn't. I think if I use the clouds like that, it actually helps. I'm gonna actually glue this in place here. So I can trim the excess. It's never been an issue for me. Actually cuts like butter. So perfect. I can go. No, I don't walk away from the piece. I just need another one here because it's going to, what the clouds do is actually help you, like, with the curvature of like to bring to pop the title up. So I like it here. So I'm gonna move that one there. Some foam adhesive. And we're almost done with this. Like I said, today is not, it's one of those layers that I had in an idea for that half that I was talking. I said, see, I'm gonna glue that piece that I said I'm not gonna use it, and then I'm gonna end up using it anyways. I'm weird like that. Make sure you stash it so you don't see the line. Okay. I like that. You see the edge is kind of hidden. Move it a bit higher. Okay. Yeah, I like that. So the only thing that I'm not super fan of this is the one down here because I think it's too little. I do need this here. So I'm gonna get something a little bit bigger. Let me just see what I have. Hello, beautiful. I think I need something a little bit bigger just to balance these out. So we're gonna try this Hello, beautiful. Yeah, that's much better. Make sure that it's nice and straight though. Perfect. Glue it straight onto that. Add the little button, because remember, you have this little buttons here. Your lines of journal can sit down here. The only thing that this is missing is some sort of like shine. You don't want to add anything else. Love what that looks like. So it needs a little heart or something. I kind of like this. And this is from the ephemera pack. So I like that one there. And then I think some and this here. So I'm going to stick within the blue kind of situation. Had this one with all the flowers. Okay, there you go. That's about it. I like how this turned out. Actually, like I said, I had an idea, you know, all the color up here gets balanced with this here. We talked about like some design. Line coming this way, line going this way. When the two lines meet, that's where your photos stick, makes them pop. Something kind of heavy down here to balance all this up. And then your title, because you don't want to take away from your rainbow. You want to use the arch to place it. And then those beautiful little clouds that just helps you to like kind of like frame your title and kind of guide it down. And the only thing that you probably missed it is that I'm using the pattern paper. So I cut it apart to give it some dimension so it doesn't look flat. If you can see it. And that's about it. I actually love how this turned out. Look, and we made it in time. So like I said, I did a little bit of work ahead of time. So I worked the flowers ahead of time because we're live. So, don't have the time to cut all of them. But I used my the paper from the Project Life kit for this area down here because the pattern is smaller. So it reads more as a solid and, it's better. You don't want the big pattern, takes away from everything. I'm thinking that I'm slowly going to carefully pull this photo a little bit higher. So I'm going to be careful when I do this because I have some things attached to it. I think it needs to, it's like kind of hidden. So you see, like you gotta be careful. Ooh, 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 ooh. I don't want to destroy my background, but so just, this happens in real life, okay? So I'm gonna just kind of move it a little bit higher. I think it's hiding the puppy a little bit. So you see me working in real life here, so you know that I'm not perfect. And sometimes you gotta, it's until you finish that you realize some of your mistakes. And I'm just seeing it, and I know that it's not, it needs to be a little bit higher. So here's because there's a leaf here. Yeah, that's much better. This one might have to come up a little bit too. Let's see. Yeah, that's much better right there. And then this flower here was down here, so carefully lift it up. Much better. See, the photo higher makes it better. Don't be afraid. And this one, I think it needs to move higher too, but let me see if I can do it without destroying the background a bit. Sometimes it's just after you, that's why sometimes you just gotta be careful where you glue things so you don't, just a little bit higher. There you go, just a little bit, okay? We gotta re-glue the pieces here. No big deal, okay? So move these leaves a little bit. Okay, and then I have my leaf here, which I hadn't glued. So let me just get some. There's a leaf missing here, so get this here. Paper. Okay, much better. Yeah, just moving the pictures a little bit higher doesn't cover any of it. And I like it now better than I did before. Gotta be honest. So there you go. This is using the April kit. Like I said, I just opened it and worked from scratch. So if you have any questions, as always, let me know. I would love to hear from you. I think I'm going to schedule my next live session. I'm going to flip the camera so I can see you. I think I'm coming back at the end of the month with another layout. But for now, I'm going to go take pictures of it. I'm going to take pictures of it right now. And then so you can have them tomorrow. As always, thank you so much for joining me. And I hope to see you soon, guys. If you have any comments, make sure you leave them here in the comment section or contact me in the Hip Kit group on Facebook, and I would love to help you. Thank you so much for joining me, guys. See you soon.